first Chief Investment Officer of Future Generali India Life Insurance, Dr. Nirakar Pradhan.
My focus has been building resilient organizations and mentoring future generation of leaders. Each phase of my professional career reinforced my belief.
Dr. Nirakar, it's impressive how you navigated challenges across different countries and industries. And the way you tied it all together makes it very relatable.
I have tried to keep my investment discipline by having investment policy, thoughtful asset allocation, diversification, benchmarking, regular and transparent reporting.
Hey everyone, welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, the World Council of Directors. I'm your host Sunny Pancholi, and today we are diving into the fascinating world of finance, leadership, and governance. Our guest has spent more than 3 decades shaping the financial landscape across India and Europe, from Treasury desk in Frankfurt to building investment strategies in Mumbai to steering global risk management communities. He has held senior leadership positions at State Bank of India, Generali Group in Europe, and served as the first CEO of PRMIA India, pioneering risk management education and governance standards. He was also the first Chief Investment Officer of Future Generali India Life Insurance, where he led top quartile investment returns and built a strong culture of strategy and compliance. Currently, he is director at Finkasturi Nivesh Private Limited, a SEBI-registered investment advisor, where he continues his mission of financial education, risk management advocacy, and building trust-driven investment strategies. Dr. Nirakar Pradhan, CFA CAIIB. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. How are you doing?
Oh, I am thrilled. I am humbled. I am quite excited, Sunny. It is wonderful to be with you. And I thank you. I thank Directors Institute, also World Council of Directors for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Great to hear that, Dr. Nirakar. So to begin with, you have had a career that spans banking, insurance, investment, and risk management across multiple countries. Could you share your journey with us? Maybe just one or two defining moments that really shaped you.
Hi, Sunny. Hi, respected audience. I have had a very, very interesting professional career. When I say interesting, it was very challenging, also very rewarding. Born and brought up in Odisha, that is eastern part of India, I got timely opportunity to work across geography. That is Odisha, Punjab, Mumbai, then Frankfurt in Germany, Paris in France. What is unique about me is I got opportunity. My career was very carefully nurtured by two global players: State Bank of India, largest Indian bank, and Generali Group, one of the leading player in investment and insurance. My career, I have many defining moments, but if one I can share, it was in 2002. I was asked to handle investment portfolio of State Bank of India Frankfurt. It came right after large corporate collapse, series of corporate collapse shook the entire trust and confidence of financial market. State Bank of India had invested in Welcome, second largest telecom company that time. Also Swiss Air, most prestigious airline that time. They both went bankrupt. Assignment was tough. It was a test of my adaptability and resilience. I had to quickly learn multiple regulatory framework, follow up legal cases, even learn German language because of the court cases. But against all the odds, what I am happy to share with you that we could recover 40% of the funds locked in this bankruptcy course, which are originally written off. Quickly, I learned credit derivative product. We could introduce some innovative instruments to manage the risk. Result is from 10 million loss in SBI Frankfurt balance sheet in 2003, we could convert this into 10 million profit within a span of 3 years. The Learning I got from SBI Frankfurt helped me later career. As a first chief investment officer, like you said, of a general group in India to manage their insurance funds, or first chief executive officer for PRMIA in India to promote education, training, standards and practices in risk management, or currently as independent director of AMC company, asset management company. My focus has been building resilient organizations and mentoring future generation of leaders. Each phase of my professional career reinforced my belief that leadership is really about resilience, about continuous learning, about upskilling, and with a deep sense of responsibility towards the organization and people we serve. Thank you.
Dr. Nirakar, it's impressive how you navigated challenges across different countries and industries. And the way you tied it all together makes it very relatable.
Thank you.
So, continuing our conversation from SBI's Treasury in Frankfurt to leading future Generali at CIO as the CIO and later overseeing billions at Generali Europe, you have balanced precision with scale. But what's one thing working at a global treasury taught you that changed how you manage investments? And one thing leading a large investment portfolio taught you that changed how you think about risk?
Okay. uh, Working with the global environment in SBI Frankfurt taught me one thing. No matter the size of the portfolio balance sheet, the ground rules remain same. That is safety, liquidity, sustainable risk-adjusted returns. In that order. When you are managing clients' money, this hierarchy cannot be negotiable. All through my investment career, CFA institutes a code of ethics and standards of professional conduct that form the foundation of my journey. Against the values like keeps the client's interest first, act with integrity, honesty and integrity, maintains independence and objectivity. With all this value chain, I have tried to keep my investment discipline by having investment policy, thoughtful asset allocation, diversification, benchmarking, regular and transparent reporting. These guidelines also helped me in the later career when I set up investment operation for General Group in India in 2008 or 2015 when I was asked to implement a new risk management framework across generally portfolio spread over 60 countries, value more than 500 billion euros. Managing large portfolios also taught me humility. It was second half of 2013. My view was downward trending interest rate. I had accumulated some long duration bonds. Contrary to my expectation, Reserve Bank of India increased interest rate. As a result, my portfolio took a knock. It underperformed about 6 months, but it was a tough lesson for me. I learned even the best of the model may fail you. I learned to have scenario planning, stress testing, proper agility in risk management to supplement all your models. So, coming to manage portfolios, whether it's millions or billions, ground rules remain same. That is, protect your capital, strive to generate better risk-adjusted returns, and never forget put the client first. Thank you.
Dr. Nirakar, it's fascinating to hear how precision in treasury work shaped your approach to managing massive portfolios. And that transition isn't easy. And the way you balance scale with risk is really insightful. It gives the audience a rare look into strategic thinking at that level.
Yeah, thank you.
So, moving ahead, you have been at the forefront of adopting technology in finance, from risk modeling systems to compliance frameworks. Where do you see leaders going wrong with technology? And how can they make sure it improves outcomes instead of just adding complexity?
Hi, Sunny. As you know, we are living in a VUCA world. VUCA world is defined by V for volatility, U for uncertainty, C for complexity, and A for ambiguity. And in this VUCA world, to survive, if I have a business, it has to have two legs. One is technology, the second is finance. Both are critical, but to be effective, both have to work in sync. And today we hear a lot of noise about artificial intelligence, AI. I remind myself, AI cannot replace Y, that is original intelligence or human intelligence. We should not never forget. Technology only is a tool to serve us for our judgment, for our governance standards. And history has many reminders. Maybe the classic reminder is Barings Bank. In 1995, there was a young trader called Nick Leeson. In his stock future trading, he amassed huge losses. He could hide his losses by misusing the password of a back office. When he was discovered, the magnitude of loss was so high it wiped out the entire capital of Barings Bank. 233-year-old, most prestigious Barings banks collapsed. But Barings Bank is not the single name. We have seen the like of Enron, Qualcomm, Parmalat, Satyam, and recently FTX, who have successfully hidden the risk. Technology has been used to hide the risk rather than manage and mitigate the risk. So the message for the leaders is very clear. Technology is not a substitute for your supervision. One should have a very clear, simple risk management framework, understandable language. The policy framework should be supported by robust system and processes, well-defined rules and responsibility and accountability. Most important, trust and transparency should be built into your organizational culture. We should not forget that technology is just like double-edged sword. Of its own, it cannot ensure better business result. It matters how responsibly, how intelligently we use technology to ensure safety and soundness, to ensure sustainable business success. Thank you.
It's interesting to hear how technology can actually add complexity if not implemented thoughtfully. And your example really makes that clear. And hearing about the challenges and initial hiccups make the whole story very, very relatable. Uh, Not many leaders share that openly. So thank you for sharing that with us. Uh, Dr. Pradhan, you have always emphasized governance, compliance, and risk. For leaders listening today who want to strengthen financial discipline in their organizations, what's the very first step?
Oh, this is a very important question, Sunny. It reminds me Warren Buffett famous quote: "A rising tide floats all boats. When only when the tide goes out do we discover who is swimming naked." So if it's a good economic cycle or bull market, it's easy to hide your weakness. But when the scenario changes, the weakness surfaces. If you look at the history of financial market, we have witnessed financial crisis revisiting us every 8 to 10 years. During those crises, the organizations which survive are the ones who have strong fundamentals in place, sound governance in place. But the ones with weak fundamentals or without governance standards, they collapse. I'll give you some examples. 1998, there was a hedge fund. It was founded by Nobel Prize winners called LTCM, Long Term Capital Management. 1998 which collapsed because of a liquidity risk. Last global financial crisis 2007-08, Lehman Brothers, one of the most reputed organizations, collapsed because of credit risk. Recently, 2023, one US bank, Silicon Valley Bank, collapsed because of market and interest rate risk. So the question is it not question of compliance or ticking box? It's a question of business decision making to integrate strong discipline, risk management standards and practices. It should embed one mindset where each thought, decisions are properly aligned with the mission, vision, and values of the organization. And this tone should be coming from the top. When senior leaders set this tone by having clear, transparent policy framework, well-defined rules and responsibility and accountability, continuous supervision, then trust is the natural byproduct. And you know trust is the most valuable currency in the world of finance. And which with that type of strong foundation in place, the organization can without any storm whatsoever the tide comes. Thank you.
Hearing about the challenges and near misses really brings your point to life, Dr. Pradhan, and most leaders don't share that level of candor.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored.
All right. So, Dr. Pradhan, time for some rapid fire questions, and you have to be really quick with your answers. The
Oh,
first thing that comes to mind.
sure. Thank you.
So, shall we move ahead with our rapid fire round?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. So, here's my first question to you: sunrise or sunset? When do you feel
Sunrise.
most at peace?
Sunrise.
Okay. A book that truly shaped the way you think.
My experiment with the truth.
Okay, great. One habit you never compromise on.
Getting up early before sunrise.
Amazing. If you could relive 1 year of your life, which year would it be?
Okay, class 10 in my high school.
Okay. What's the simplest luxury that makes you happy?
Interacting with young minds. I always happy look forward to interacting with young minds.
Great. If your life had a title, what would it be?
As you think, so you become.
That was great. One city that always feels like home no matter where you are.
Of course, it's the Mumbai, my dream city.
Amchi, Mumbai. Right. If you could have dinner with any three thinkers or leaders, who would you choose?
Okay, naturally, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he's a political leader. Narayan Murthy, he's a technology leader. And of course, Anna Hazare, he's social reformist leader.
Wow. Three great leaders from three different walks of life. Great. Moving on to the next question. The one piece of advice you always give and actually follow yourself.
Oh, I don't accept failure. Failure is the pillar of success.
So, Dr. Pradhan, why do you think frameworks like ESG, certification, and regulatory compliance matter so much today? And how do they protect investors and institutions on the ground?
Okay, this is a very important question again because this is related to core of responsible leadership. ESG at its essence means decision making should integrate environmental, social, and governance factors. Why so? Because all the stakeholders they want to take informed decision. They want to know how you are managing risk about climate risk, or let us say supply chain risk, labor force practices, even governance failure. ESG as of today is there is no mandatory reporting, but most of the companies they love to report ESG metrics through sustainability report or annual report, and they are guided by several framework like SASB, that is Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, GRI Global Reporting Initiative, or TCFD, the Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosure. But um, recently I read some McKinsey report which says the business which integrate ESG practices in their business decision making, they tend to generate a better risk adjusted return. But more important is this builds trust among stakeholders. This helps the institutions. This protects investors, and this strengthens our market. End of the day, the institutions play a very important part in building trust. But the trust is not one-time effort. It's a continuous journey to build trust. The organization should keep learning, keep asking, and should be living the same value that it wants to promote. And with that tone in place, ESG and compliance stop to become buzzwords. They become strong foundation for sustainable and future growth. To conclude, business should have robust culture, embedding ESG framework. ESG framework should be a part of DNA of every growth-focused business. Thank you.
Dr. Pradhan, hearing about those real world examples really drives home why ESG and compliance aren't just boxes to tick. And it's fascinating how frameworks can prevent both financial and reputational risk.
Thank you.
So that brings us to the last question of the podcast. And let me ask you, you have recently been connected with Directors Institute. So what drew you to it in the first place? And how has it shaped your thinking about leadership and governance?
Oh, thank you, Sunny. And this is a personal question, right? I am quite excited about that Directors Institute. I like their focus on leadership excellence and governance standards. I have been a CFA charter for last 20 years. I am in building and managing a team in multiple countries. I firmly believe ethics, integrity, and the professionalism that core of any responsible leadership. And I have understood how good governance can transform not only organizations, but the community at large. This way, the mission of Director Institute aligns very well with my own personal values. Looking at the global environment today, what do we see? If you look at IMF, they have released recently World Economic Outlook report, that is October 2025. They highlight serious challenges all the developed economies are facing today. But more than that, we find war everywhere. You know, large economies they are having war, economic war against inflation. There are trade wars. There are geopolitical shift. Technology advancing every day. But what we find, technology advancement is coupled with cyber wars every day, every second. We have war, complexity from climate risk, ESG, and so many. World is a complex environment today. Against this backdrop, responsible leadership is not an option; it's a urgent necessity. I'm reminded of what George Bernard Shaw said. He said, "We human beings, we have mastered the art of flying in the sky like birds, and we can deep dive into water like fish. What we have to learn is how to live like human beings peacefully on this earth." And this is where the role of a director institute comes. I'm quite excited to learn from my global leaders, other global leaders, exchange ideas, work with them to enhance governance standards. Secondly, I used to point out that India is emerging as the fastest growing major economy. It's a strong domestic growth story built on young aspiring population, structural reforms, digital innovation. I am particularly interested to work with others, collaborations to foster some mutual and sustainable and inclusive growth. In this context, I am quite inspired by Indian philosophy. In Sanskrit, they say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Two words. In English, if I can translate, one earth, one family, one future. Also, I am quite inspired by John Quincy Adams, who said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, become more, you are a leader. I am quite excited to direct an institute to work with other global leaders to create and optimize value for all stakeholders, to create a better world, a safer, a healthier, and more prosperous world. That's my dream. Thank you.
Dr. Pradhan, your take on leadership really highlights the importance of continuous learning. And hearing about how it changed your approach to governance makes the concept really tangible.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me tell you, Dr. Nirakar, this has been such an insightful conversation. From your early treasury days at SBI to steering billion euro portfolios in Europe to pioneering risk education and governance in India, your journey is nothing short of inspiring. And what really stood out for me today is how you showed that finance isn't just about numbers or systems. It's about trust, it's about resilience and leadership that stands the test of time. So thank you so much for sharing your stories and lessons with us. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on FaceTime with Leaders, truly.
Thank you, Sunny. It has been a wonderful experience for me also. And I look forward to working with the Directors Institute. Thank you.
Thank you once again. And to the audience tuning in, I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, signing off for now. And this has been FaceTime with Leaders. Until next time, stay curious, keep growing, and lead with purpose. Thank you so much.